What's going on, guys? I fix shit in your face. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash subscribe button. I make these videos for free. You can help me for free by doing both of those things. Even if you don't come back, it definitely helps me. So the like button, the bell, if you want notifications for future updates, go ahead and smash those. Subscribe if you want to stay involved and support me. Let's get going here. So I think the thing I really want to talk about today is throttle flutter, okay? It's really more pronounced in carbureted bikes, and it will never happen normally on a single carburetor motorcycle, okay? It normally happens with 2 or more carburetors, and I kind of want to explain what causes throttle flutter, because it can be really bad or it can be kind of bad. Like, it can create a huge scenario where it's very problematic, or it can just be a little annoyance that causes you to have a weird takeoff with your bike, or trying to take off from a low idle in first gear and get up to speed. Normally the lag will go away once you get up to speed, and I'll explain why that's the case. So on carbureted bikes with 2 or more carburetors, what happens is you have butterfly valves, and if those butterfly valves that are allowing channeled air to go through them don't open at exactly the same time, one cylinder will lag and the other one will pick up speed, which causes the bike to stutter, right? So if you whack your throttle real quick, which is unnecessary to do, but if you rack your throttle real quick, a lot of sport bike riders will do this, some cruiser riders, but if you give your throttle a quick whack instead of a slow opening takeoff, what ends up happening is one cylinder will speed up because it's getting more air like it should, and the other one is offset on the butterfly just enough that it's creating a problem where this cylinder lags but this one doesn't, causing the bike to kind of stutter for a sec until it gets enough air and gas to fire, just like the one that's got proper air, right? So once the butterfly valves open, right, they go from, sorry, FedEx truck, we'll give this guy a second. Perfect timing, bro. So once the butterflies open completely, then you're relying on the vacuum system to take over from there, which is why when you start getting up into the higher RPMs, the bike starts to run fine and you have all the power in the world. So once your vacuum slides start to go up and down how they should together, that means they've taken over. The butterflies are for the initial pull to get the engine going at the same time, exactly the same time. It's basically controlling each cylinder's output. So if they're not synced and they're not in alignment, the bike will stutter. And it can be as bad as you hit it and it just kind of goes and then it goes, or it can be as bad as you hit it and the whole bike just dies. That's a suffering carburetor system right there. That is one that immediately needs to be looked at, okay? And it needs to be synchronized. An overwhelming majority of the time, it is from out of sync carburetors, okay? And you can help yourself with this by doing a simple bench sync. If you don't have the means to go to a shop, or it's very expensive, nobody works on them around you, you can do a bench sync. There's tons of videos to show you how to do a bench sync. It's quite easy to do once you understand the principle of how it works. Each butterfly needs to be identically set. To just take a little piece of paper and just slide it in there and close the butterfly until it makes contact with the piece of paper at the bottom lowest point of the air intake, okay? Right where the channel opens and the butterfly sits on the back, slide a piece of paper in there and just go until it sets right down against it, so that you can pull it out but you can't push it back in, but it's not tight enough that it's squeezing it so hard that it rips the piece of paper. That is the almost perfect amount of startup that you need, okay? So what causes it? I'm not going to say 99, but almost 90% of the time, carbureted throttle lag is from out of sync carburetors, okay? There are tons of videos on YouTube of how to sync your carb. Go to your manual. Manuals are free. You can look up PDF user manuals. I have yet to find a manual that I actually had to pay for. Tons of these companies have taken the old manuals, scanned them, and made PDF copies. You can download them for free. Go to your end of the manual where it's talking about specs and settings and all that. Find out what you're supposed to set your carb at, your engine idle at when synchronizing the carbs, and then start your sync from there. You can do it with a set of vacuum gauges, tons of them on eBay. They'll never be 100% accurate if you get the ones that have the analog needle driven ones. But if you can do it, Motion Pro makes a really good vacuum carburetor system. About $100 for a good vacuum kit, and they work really well. They're also mercury driven, I believe. So I would say the most accurate ones are the mercury driven systems, because they're going to show the perfect alignment on vacuum all the way across the board. And that's when you know that when you throttle blip it, that each individual carb butterfly is set identical, because all of the mercury tubes will bounce all at the same time. There'll be very little variation in there. As with analog vacuum gauges like I have back here, unfortunately, you will get probably about the equivalent of a bench tune from those, which isn't horrible, but it's not going to give you top performance on your bike. So that kind of helps you understand that. So overall, let's recap here. Throttle flutter, right, or throttle lag on carbureted bikes, almost the majority of the time, is going to come back to out of sync carburetors. If you're experiencing this on a single carburetor system, then you have problems elsewhere, okay? Because you only have one carburetor driving one cylinder at that point. And some people do one carb and split cylinders, but it still shouldn't make a difference, because you're not competing at all with either cylinder. It's just one butterfly opens, gas goes in, and air. So it should be fairly simple to figure out from there. But if you have multiple carburetors, like this bike has 4, it has a slight flutter in the system, so I'm gonna have to at some point pull the gas tank off, and I'm gonna have to do a synchronization on this. I'm gonna buy the Motion Pro mercury tubes, and we're gonna do a proper sync on this. But I hope that gives you an idea of where to go and where to start with your problem, because like I said, an overall overwhelming majority of the time, throttle lag on a carbureted motorcycle is going to be caused by an out of sync carbs. You need to resync your carbs so all the butterflies open at exactly the same time. The cylinders aren't competing with each other. They're all getting exactly what they need all at the same time, and that's when your bike will just go, what happened? You know, and you'll get that wonderful response time that you're looking for. Instantaneous response almost, and that's what you're looking for. If you crack it and it stumbles for a second then goes, you need to sync your carbs. So this one needs a carb sync. I can deal with it for a little while. I'm not planning on racing this bike anytime soon. They're not so out of whack that it's going to create a huge problem. It just means that I won't be throttle blipping off the takeoff, and I won't be giving it excessive power until I get past a certain RPM. And then when I get a chance and my Motion Pro tubes come in, I'll go ahead and finish this up. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys that quick rundown. So like I said, if this video helped you, don't forget to smash the like button, show some love, ding that bell for future notifications, push the like button to help this video gain and help other people, because the more people that see this, the more people it'll help, the less problems we'll have. Save the motorcycle world, people. All right, guys, catch you on the flip. I fix shit. I'm out. Toodles.
Are you sure this is okay? You're in country, dude. Live a little. Now, she's pretty sensitive, so go easy on the throttle, okay? All right.